child sits quietly at the family table. They speak little because they have learned that words carry risk. A misstep, a misplaced comment, and the atmosphere shifts. Eyes narrow, silence falls. Meanwhile, siblings share their successes, their daily joys, and are met with warmth and encouragement. But when this child speaks, the air tightens. Words are not mistakes here, they are offenses. The child learns quickly. To exist is to be noticed, and being noticed brings tension. From the outside, the family may appear normal. Birthdays are celebrated, meals shared, routines followed. But inside, this child feels invisible, as if their presence disrupts rather than contributes. Subtle cues, the sigh when they enter, the quick glance away, the quiet impatience signal rejection. This is the lived experience of feeling unwanted in one's own home. It is not always cruel in obvious ways. It is embedded in energy, in unspoken dynamics. Human beings are born wired to seek connection. From the earliest moments, children crave warmth, attention, and affirmation. Their hearts are open, receptive, and fragile. When love is unevenly distributed, or when resentment takes the place of acceptance, children internalize the message not simply that love is absent, but that they themselves are flawed. Feeling unloved is temporary. Feeling unworthy becomes identity. This distinction is critical. Research in psychology demonstrates how early experiences of rejection shape the mind. Attachment theory emphasizes that first bonds, those with caregivers, set a template for future relationships. Warmth and care build confidence and security. Coldness or hostility imprints lessons of unworthiness. Children learn to expect rejection, sometimes before they even understand what it means. The child who feels hated may carry that expectation into adulthood, scanning for danger, fearing judgment, and doubting their own right to connection. The child rarely frames the problem as their parent's flaw. Instead, they internalize blame. I must be wrong. I must be unworthy. Survival requires this adaptation. To question the caregiver is to risk further harm. So the child bends to fit a world that never fully welcomes them, shaping a self that is hyper-vigilant, cautious, and sometimes withdrawn. Comparison amplifies this pain. If one sibling receives praise for grades, attention for accomplishments, or warmth for small victories, the child who feels rejected notices. These differences, however subtle, accumulate. Less eye contact, less patience, muted celebration. These are not minor signals to the nervous system. They are confirmation of rejection. The child begins to anticipate disappointment, learning that even safe spaces can become threatening. These experiences leave lasting impressions on the developing brain. Chronic exposure to rejection and neglect increases sensitivity to perceived threats. Children who grow up feeling unwanted often display higher anxiety, lower self-esteem, and heightened depressive tendencies. They may overinterpret neutral social cues as judgment or disapproval, responding defensively or withdrawing entirely. The pattern becomes self-perpetuating. Yet the child develops survival strategies. Some become perfectionists, seeking to earn love through flawless performance. Others become people pleasers, mirroring desires to gain approval. Some adopt rebellion, distancing themselves before they can be rejected. These strategies mask a deeper truth. They are not the child's true identity, but adaptations to cope with an environment that withheld acceptance. Unfortunately, many adults forget the distinction. They continue to perform these roles long after childhood, believing that perfection, compliance, or rebellion defines who they are. Silence is both a symptom and a perpetuator of this cycle. The child learns not to speak of the pain, fearing that voicing it will confirm their defectiveness. Unspoken, the suffering does not vanish. It lodges in memory, influences choices, and shapes relationships. Adults may unconsciously recreate familiar dynamics, gravitating toward partners, friends, or workplaces that mirror rejection. Familiarity, even when harmful, feels safe. Understanding the biological impact provides further insight. When a child experiences rejection, the body perceives it as threat. Stress hormones surge, reshaping neural pathways. The amygdala, responsible for fear response, becomes more reactive, while the prefrontal cortex, governing emotional regulation, may become underactive. The adult is hyper-alert to subtle signs of danger or disapproval, reacting intensely even in safe environments. Peace feels unnatural. Chaos feels familiar. But there is another side. Children who felt unwanted develop acute sensitivity to emotions and social cues. This sensitivity is not weakness, it is survival skill honed through necessity. Adults who have endured rejection often possess remarkable empathy, intuition, and insight into others' needs and moods. When recognized and nurtured, these traits become strengths, enabling deep connection and understanding. The tragedy lies not in overt abuse, but in invisibility. Families that seem ordinary from the outside may hide subtle patterns of neglect. The child grows up questioning themselves. Am I overreacting? Am I too sensitive? These doubts, reinforced by internalized rejection, are often compounded by unintentional family dynamics. Silence becomes internalized critique, shaping the adult psyche and self-perception. Despite these challenges, awareness offers a path forward. Recognizing the child within, understanding the patterns formed by early rejection, and observing how they manifest in adult life are the first steps toward transformation. Healing does not require forgetting or erasing the past. It requires seeing it clearly, naming it, and offering compassion where it was once absent. Therapeutic approaches emphasize reparenting the adult intentionally, offering to themselves the care, recognition, and validation that was denied. This practice addresses the wounds left by neglect, reshaping internal narratives from unworthiness to acceptance. Reparenting is not indulgence. It is a deliberate act of survival and growth. Each kind word, each act of self-care, and each affirmation, I am worthy, I belong, lays new neural groundwork for safety and connection. Creative expression serves a parallel purpose. Writing, art, music, or other mediums allow the inner child to be seen and heard. Silent pain becomes visible, transforming private suffering into tangible, manageable experience. Expression is not only cathartic, it affirms the child's existence, validates their feelings, and fosters identity independent of old dynamics. Awareness also reshapes relationships. Adults who understand their history of rejection can identify patterns, pause before reacting, and choose consciously how to engage with family, friends, or partners. They can set boundaries, protect emotional space, and cultivate supportive connections. Healing transforms familiar dynamics into chosen, safe interactions, rewiring the expectation of rejection into an expectation of care and respect. Even within families, the opportunity for transformation exists. Adults who were once unwanted can consciously choose how to relate to their children. By recognizing their own patterns, they prevent the echo of rejection from continuing into the next generation. Awareness and reflection become the tools of intergenerational healing. In essence, the child who feels hated in the family is navigating a paradox. They endure pain, exclusion, and self-doubt, yet they also develop sensitivity, empathy, and resilience. These qualities, when recognized and nurtured, become gifts rather than scars. The adult who emerges from this background has the potential to create meaningful connections, to act with compassion, and to understand human emotion with depth. The journey begins with recognition, seeing the child who once felt unwanted, then offering to them what was missing. Finally, taking deliberate steps toward self-compassion, safe connection, and creative expression. Each step reshapes identity, rewires expectation, and affirms belonging. The child who once sat silently at the table is no longer invisible. They are seen, heard, and validated. The invitation is simple yet profound. Meet the inner child. Witness the pain and speak the words never heard. You are worthy. You are enough. You belong. In this practice lies transformation. In this recognition lies the power to reclaim identity, connection, and self-worth. As the child who once felt invisible grows older, the echoes of that early rejection often remain. In adulthood, the experiences of being unseen or unloved can shape how they approach relationships, work, and self-perception. They may enter spaces cautiously, scanning for signs of judgment or disapproval. Even in friendships or romantic relationships, there can be a quiet expectation that they will be rejected, criticized, or abandoned. This expectation is not imagined. It is the residue of survival strategies honed in childhood. Some adults compensate by striving for perfection. Every achievement, every success is weighed against an internal standard. If I can excel, perhaps I will finally be seen as worthy. Others attempt to please, suppressing authentic desires in favor of making others comfortable. A smaller group may adopt rebellion, distancing themselves before they can be hurt first. Each strategy, while adaptive in childhood, becomes limiting in adulthood. Identity and self-worth get tangled with performance, approval, and preemptive defense mechanisms. The internal dialogue often mirrors the voices of those early caregivers. Harshness, judgment, and impatience have been internalized, echoing in thoughts like, "I am not enough," or "I don't deserve kindness." Even achievements may bring only temporary relief. Without recognition of the source of these voices, adults continue to feel flawed, constantly seeking validation outside themselves. Healing begins with awareness. The first act is to acknowledge the child who was unseen and misunderstood. Naming the experience transforms abstract pain into a tangible narrative. "I grew up feeling unwanted. I was treated as less than. That was not my fault." Recognition does not erase the past, but it gives the adult clarity. Pain that was once silent gains a name, which is the first step toward reshaping identity. The journey closes with recognition. The inner child, once silent and unseen, is now visible. They are met with care, understanding, and validation. Words long unheard are finally spoken. "You are worthy. You are enough. You belong." Healing is not a destination, but a process of continuous reparenting, self-expression, and compassionate connection. From the table where the child once sat in quiet anxiety, an adult rises who is aware, resilient, and capable of love. They have learned to honor their own experience while building meaningful relationships. The ache of feeling unwanted is not erased, but it is reframed. What was once an identity of rejection becomes a story of survival, insight, and transformation. In this narrative, there is hope. The child who felt hated does not remain imprisoned by their past. Through intentional awareness, self-compassion, and connection, the adult reshapes the life they were always capable of living. The silence is broken. The child is seen, and belonging once denied is reclaimed.